36 analysts at the Pentagon begin to document events in the Vietnam War. Daniel Ellsberg is a federal employee and, at the moment, he is part of a team that is working on the Pentagon Papers. But eventually, he grows angry and frustrated with the war. What once compelled him to join the task force eventually drove him away. Daniel Ellsberg now works for RAND Corporation, a think tank, one place where the Pentagon's documentation was sent.
This is outrageous!
I'm gonna call Neil Sheehan, a reporter at the New York Times, to see if he's interested in a new project.
Ellsberg and Neil Sheehan met up planning to publish the papers. A month later, Sheehan received almost the entire report.
Here, Neil, you can take notes on these.
Unfortunately, Sheehan bends his agreement with Ellsberg and rapidly copies the papers. Quickly, America's eyes, including Nixon's national security advisor, Henry Kissinger, find classified government documents on the front pages.
These publications violate the Espionage Act of 1917.
Kissinger requested they cease publication of the papers,
Mr. President,
but they refused.
the New York Times published classified documents. They're guilty of felony because they lacked authorization to do so.
You have to be kidding me! I will call the Attorney General for a court injunction. The New York Times does not support the executive branch's overreach of power. We will take them to a court of law.
In the courtroom, two sides, Nixon representing the US and the New York Times representing the free American press. Bro, it's absolutely over for you guys. You guys can't make us shut the
school appropriate vernacular
up. That's a First Amendment right that you're stripping away with your prior restraint. Our First Amendment rights. That's debatable. Yo, legal team, look at these fickle little citizens. Dude, come on. You can't just publish anything. There's always exceptions. One exception made in the case of the Pentagon Papers is that it's classified. It has national security implications if we publish it. With the two sides having presented their case, the justices begin discussing. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, it tends to take a while.
Several months later.
Order in the court. The court is now ready to present their opinions. The summary of my opinion is that the free imperative of a free and unfettered press comes into collision with another imperative, the effective functioning of a complex modern government. As such, the Nixon administration was justified in their use of prior restraint in order to preserve order in the government. We agree with Chief Justice Berger. Justice Hugo Black here. The Nixon administration demonstrated an overwhelming increase in executive power. The purpose of free press in the US is as a watchdog. Only a free and unrestrained press can effectively oppose deception in government and to prevent any part of the government from deceiving the people and sending them off to distant lands to die. I concur with Justice Black. Justice William Brennan Jr. here. This case of government censorship did not qualify for one of the three exceptions that allowed for prior restraint in Neer v. Minnesota, 1931, which says that no prior restraint of the content of news by the government is allowed unless it reveals critical military information, contains obscenity, or may directly incite acts of violence.
Justice Potter Stewart, and I speak for Justice Byron White too. We believe that in absence of governmental checks and balances, the only effective restraint is in an enlightened citizenry.
Justice Thurgood Marshall, I believe that national security is too broad to legitimize prior restraint. The score is 6-3. New York Times wins.